Sylvester Stallone. I hadn't planned on doing this. With those words, one of the most recognizable figures in film history reminded us that even icons, even legends, even men who have embodied indestructible champions for decades find themselves facing moments they never expected, choices that were never mapped out, and roles that feel like accidents of fate rather than calculated steps in a career. And what makes this admission so striking is that Stallone, whose life has been anything but predictable, has always seemed like the man with a plan, the underdog who wrote his own destiny in the form of Rocky, the relentless warrior who gave life to Rambo. And yet here, in this reflective conversation, he reveals a vulnerable truth, that his starring role in Tulsa King, a gritty, layered drama about a mob boss exiled to Oklahoma, was not a meticulously planned career move, but a spur-of-the-moment decision that turned into one of the most transformative opportunities of his career. And as he unpacks this journey, Stallone's reflections take us beyond the surface of television success into the deeper realm of what it means to reinvent oneself at a time in life when most would consider stepping back. Because for him, this wasn't just about acting in another project. It was about embracing an entirely new medium, long-form television, that he had never fully explored, testing whether he could bring the same energy, discipline, and authenticity that defined his films into a different arena. And the response has proven that not only could he do it, but that audiences were eager to see him stretch his craft, with Tulsa King quickly becoming a cultural hit, sparking conversations about generational reinvention and showing that even when you don't plan for something, it can still reshape your legacy. Stallone admits that what humbled him most was the recognition that came from unexpected places, including former President Donald Trump, who went out of his way to publicly acknowledge Stallone's work, something Stallone never anticipated. And whether you view that through a political lens or simply as one public figure acknowledging another, it highlights how unplanned success resonates far beyond entertainment circles, spilling into cultural and political conversations that Stallone himself never sought out. And yet, here he is, navigating that recognition with humility, aware that praise from someone as polarizing as Trump adds complexity to his story. A reminder that every unplanned moment carries both reward and risk. But what keeps Stallone grounded through all this is perspective. He knows what it means to fight for relevance, because long before Tulsa King, he experienced the highest highs and lowest lows, from the Oscar-winning triumph of Rocky to the box office struggles of films that didn't connect, from the glory of red carpets to the loneliness of personal setbacks. And so, when he says he hadn't planned on doing this, it resonates as more than a passing comment. It feels like the philosophy of a man who understands that plans often crumble, but perseverance endures. He brings this same wisdom to his reflections on recognition by institutions like the Kennedy Center, where he was honored as a cultural icon, a moment he admits left him in shock, because, in his words, it was something he never expected, echoing the same theme of life, giving him gifts that were never part of his blueprint. And as he weaves these stories together, Stallone makes one thing clear. He is not done, not ready to retire, not willing to fade quietly into the background, because for him, the thrill is in the unexpected, the passion is in the risk, and the joy is in proving, once again, that longevity in Hollywood, or in life, is not about sticking to a plan, but about saying yes to the doors that open when you least expect them, which is why Tulsa King, the Trump recognition, the Kennedy Center honor, and his refusal to step away from the screen all feel connected by a single thread. The power of the unplanned, the reminder that life's greatest chapters are often the ones you never saw coming. And for Stallone, a man who has already given the world unforgettable underdogs and warriors, this new chapter is teaching us one final lesson: that the true measure of greatness is not only in the battles you prepare for, but in the courage to face the ones you never planned to fight.